Hello everybody, my name's Jalise. Welcome out everybody to my top 10 DCEU films. Here's the thing everybody, Joker will not be included on this list. One, because Joker is not to me really a superhero film or supervillain film. That film has more and it has more things in common with the Seven. It's more of a psychological thriller. Same thing with Split. The movie Split, great movie. But it's not a superhero movie or not. Even though Unbreakable is a superhero movie and Glass is, I don't find Split either. So to me, Joker will not be on this list. We're going to be doing for the top 10 both Justice League films, because to me they're both different films and they both have a different grade. So let's start off with the worst of the DCEU. Number 10 is Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. There's not much I could say about this film other than the death of Superman was rushed. Superman being blamed for deaths in the desert. I don't care if you have the 2-hour version, the 3-hour version. The 3-hour version actually has some bad guys burning the bodies that they accuse Superman of heat visioning them, even though the bodies are full of bullet holes. Still blame Superman. The entire plotline of anyone blaming Superman over this stuff is just ridiculous. The fact is that Batman wants to kill Superman is ridiculous. It's just idiotic, stupid. The whole Martha thing, didn't mind it, but I don't care for it. I hate Lex Luthor. This is not Lex Luthor. This is Riddler / Joker. This is not Lex Luthor. This film, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, does not make sense. I mean, I like the whole concept of basically, is Superman too powerful? Should the government have something on him? It really brings the idea, how powerful is Superman and whether or not we should regulate him and whether or not if we can control him. The whole government and Superman stuff really debate whether or not we should want Superman around or whether we want the Justice League around. Now, if you want a good interpretation of that concept, watch the Justice League TV show, the animated TV show. That was better than this. Dawn of Justice is piss poor, god awful. Doomsday was not needed. Wonder Woman was not needed in this film. This was just terrible. It's a D+. I don't care if it introduced Wonder Woman. I don't care if it had Batman at the beginning. I'm sorry. Dawn of Justice was terrible. The first ever Batman vs Superman fight should have been better off. It should have been better. It should have been working hard for it. Like how Marvel Cinematic Universe did Iron Man vs. Captain America. They build it up. This one, there's no build up. I'm sorry, Dawn of Justice is terrible. 2.5 hours or 3 hours, it's terrible. Dawn of Justice number 10, D+. Number 9 is none other than Suicide Squad. This poor writer had to write this film in 4 weeks, and it shows. The plotline is terrible. I like the introduction of all the Suicide Squad members: Harley Quinn, the freaking Deadshot, Killer Croc, Katana, Diablo, Captain Boomerang, and all that stuff. I like certain members of the Suicide Squad. I enjoy some of the action scenes I do. Certain acting stuff I do. Jared Leto's Joker, sad to say, did not get his proper due. Granted, I'm not the biggest fan of his work for Joker, but I think he was ripped off in this film. Again, when you have to do reshoots like crazy, it's just stupid. I mean, the fact is that Enchantress was, to me, a lot of people didn't like Enchantress, but to me, I think she was such an interesting villain that she could have been a freaking Justice League villain. That's how powerful she is, but how she's killed off by the Suicide Squad is just plain damn terrible. The third act is just, the middle act is just, why? The first hour, the first 30 minutes is probably the most entertaining thing you're going to get. Suicide Squad is just down at the bottom for me, just because the only reason why it's not at the bottom, complete last, is because the writers have 4 weeks to write the script and actually enjoyed certain scenes. Suicide Squad, it was not a terrible film, but I just found it okay. I gave it a C-, barely passable. Number 8, I'm going to give to Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn and all that stuff. To me, this is not the Birds of Prey movie. The Birds of Prey are joined up at the end. I'm sorry. That's like if all the Justice League, it's like, I don't know what best to describe it. You have the core members of the Birds of Prey at the end of the film and they unite for 20 minutes and you want to call it Birds of Prey. I'm sorry, it's not. This is the Harley Quinn movie. Without Margot Robbie, this movie wouldn't be as good. I like Harley Quinn's journey. I like her character. I love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I like Black Mass, Ewan McGregor's Black Mass. Really enjoyed him. Is this the worst film of the DCEU? No. I say I had more laughs. I had more fun with it. I actually smiled a bit more. I laughed a lot. And at certain points, I do love. But it's not a great film. It's not. I gave it a C+. It's just, it's barely passable to me. Birds of Prey could have been so much better. It's just a Harley Quinn movie. It's just a straight up Harley Quinn movie, and everything about with her in there is great. Everything else, not so much. Birds of Prey, number 8. Number 7 is Justice League. Josh Whedon's Justice League. Here's the thing: if you're looking for the major difference between Josh Whedon's plot with Zack Snyder's plot, it's the same plot. Steppenwolf is still a terrible villain. Superman was still resurrected by the mother boxes. Problem is, though, with Josh Whedon's cut is that he tries to create tension between Batman and Wonder Woman, either mentioning Steve Trevor or how they're going to resurrect Superman, whether or not they should. There's certain things about the dialogue is just off. Some of the special effects are not cut, and the things that that Josh Whedon included are not necessary. Certain scenes are just absolutely not necessary, and he just should have kept. I mean, I like more his music choices in a sense. And Josh Whedon's cut, like, the tones are different. Josh Whedon's cut is a little bit more campy, cartoony, comic relief stuff. I mean, I like, if there's two scenes I like of this Josh Whedon's cut compared to Zack Snyder's, it's the whole Aquaman stuff where he's drinking and he has a song in the background, or when he's, like, has a lasso on him. That was a nice, funny scene. That's a nice comedic relief. Like, Zack Snyder's one was all serious drama. But Josh Whedon's cut, I don't think this is the most terrible film. I don't know what people expect. We all knew Flash was going to be in this film. We all knew Aquaman and Cyborg were all going to be introduced into this one film. Nothing has changed from that. The major plotline hasn't changed. What changed from the Zack Snyder cut and Josh Whedon cut is the fact that Zack Snyder gives more character progression for the characters. The plotline for the villains is basically the same. Basically. A little bit different. Action scenes are a bit different. To me, I don't hate Josh Whedon's Justice League just because he got most of the stepping ground from Zack Snyder. So a good portion of this is Zack Snyder's film. It's just the CGI is different, and he added a couple scenes that are good, and he made a lot of scenes that were not good. So the Justice League movie, didn't hate it, didn't love it, but I don't find the overall hate with this film. To me, it was still a decent film. I would give it a C+, B-. Not sure we're the graded just yet, but to me, Justice League, number 7. Number 6, I'm going to give to Shazam. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this. Here's the thing. I do not care for Shazam. I don't care for the little kid that turns into a superhero. What is this, the freaking blue Turbo Power Ranger? No, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that stupidity. I'm not dealing with Shazam, the kid that says Shazam. I saw the trailer. I saw the movie. Oh, he's a kid who's looking for his family. He's with a foster family. He rejects that foster family. Lo and behold, he's going to accept the foster family at the end of the movie. He's so cool with his superpowers. He's so happy about it. Yeah, he's going to have conflict. The villain was kind of interesting. But then again, he's a one-note villain. He's going to die in the first movie. That's it. If people who love the Shazam character from the comic, this is for you. This Shazam comic book character is straight up the movie version. The movie version and the comic book version is basically what you want. If you wanted the comic book version, you got it in front of the movie, and that is something that always needs to be commended, to have good characters portrayal. And I did enjoy Shazam for that part. I could respect the film for it, but I'm not a big Shazam guy. I'm not a big fan of the story. I'm not a big fan of Shazam as a character, as a superhero. He's one of my least favorite superheroes. I don't care for Shazam. But those of you who love Shazam and you like the corny dialogue and all this stuff, that's up to you. I like corny dialogue. It's just Shazam. I saw the trailer. I saw the movie. And I don't like predictable movies. So Shazam, number 6, sue me. It's a B-. Overrated movie. Number 5, I'm going to give to, and everyone's going to hate me for this one, it's going to be Wonder Woman 1984. I know a lot of people hate this movie. If you want, I will have a description down about my Wonder Woman 1984 review. Just check it out if you want. But to me, this was not a bad film. I really enjoyed what this film was. Has a lot of great themes and a lot of great story. The problem is, though, the pacing is off. I liked, and you're like, oh, this is the worst wishing movie, people are saying. Yes, Diana gets a wish, and she wants the love of her life back. The only person she's ever truly loved, that she has an intimate relationship with, was Steve Trevor. She doesn't feel totally full in this world. She can't go back to Demscare to be with her family. She can't go back to the people who she loves. She's alone in the world. She has her friends here, like certain friends, but from World War I, but she can't go back to them because they're an old age, and most of them are probably dead. She's being alone in the world. She's dealing with the part of being immortal in a sense. I get why she wants Steve Trevor back. I get why Pedro Pascal wants to risk everything for his career and all this stuff, and he wants all the power and all that stuff. And I get why he gives like what happens to his character at the end. I get Cheetah's motivation. I get all the character motivations. A lot of people say there was not a lot of action, not a lot of not a lot of action scenes for a superhero film. To me, this was more of a story building for the character of Diana. I don't understand the hate for this film. I get the pacing is very off, but to me, I still enjoyed the story and I still enjoyed the characters, and they weren't portrayed. And they weren't betraying of who the characters were. Some people said, "Oh, Diana can't get over a man" and all that stuff. It's not the point. Diana's not trying to just only get over a man. She's missing a place in the world for her. She's missing that guy that she once loved, and still is grieving in a sense. She still has to let go of the loss she loved, of the loss of the life she loved. And I really enjoyed Wonder Woman 1984. B minus. I really enjoyed this film. It was a good film. So Wonder Woman 1984, B, number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna give to Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut. This was a good film. I like the improvement of Cyborg's character. I love his interactions with Flash, with Aquaman. They do more character development between all those 3 characters, and that's what they needed. That's what they needed more in the Joss Whedon's cut. They improved a little bit more of the Flash. Certain scenes I do not agree with Zack Snyder's cut. I think certain scenes are not needed. Certain things are. It could have been just a bit different. But to me, I overall enjoyed the Zack Snyder's film. I overall enjoy Zack Snyder's vision of Cyborg, of him losing his father, of him losing his father, and him trying to go back. Just so much stuff I love about Zack Snyder's film that improved upon. The special effects are good, and again, the Henry Cavill mustache is not the biggest problem of Justice League. That was never the case. Steppenwolf is, to me, not the most interesting character still. Darkseid, we're going to get Darkseid. I don't know how to rank this film just yet, because this film will be a lot higher to me, but the problem is, though, it's apparently not canon. They're not going to restoring this. As soon as we get more information whether or not they're going to continue to story this, then I'll probably like this film more. I mean, if they're going to include Martian Manhunter, I'll be great, but if they don't, I don't know what they're doing. There's some good stuff that Zack Snyder did for this film and improved upon the characters. He improved a lot with Cyborg, The Flash, Aquaman. I love the great many things of what Zack Snyder did for this film. It has a more serious note. It has a more melodramatic drama, and I really did enjoy this film. And we don't have certain scenes with freaking Batman and Wonder Woman debating whether or not they should revive Superman and that cringy dialogue from Joss Whedon's film. That's not here. But this film is more about the development of characters. The plotline of Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder's is still the same. Sad to say, it's still the same. But to me, it really impressed the characters. This is never going to be an A film for me, but it's a pretty dang good film. This is a B+. Zack Snyder Justice League, number freaking 4. Number 3, I'm going to give to Aquaman. I've always been a big fan of Jason Momoa. I've been a big fan of Jason Momoa since his days of Stargate Atlantis. I absolutely enjoy his work. I love Arthur. I love his character of basically how he's both a man from the sea, both by the land, and how he has to unite the world of the surface and the people of Atlantis. We get more into his backstory of his mother and his mother-father's relationship to his half-brother King Orm, or I believe that's the name, and Ocean Master. I really enjoyed their fight scenes. The action scenes are great. The special effects are great. His relationship with Mara, played by Amber Heard, is very good, very well done. It is a adventure film to find a trident and all this stuff, and to basically unite both the people of the surface and the people of Atlantis. And it really is of Aquaman just really not only combining the people together, but combining himself together and completely as a whole as a king of Atlantis. He can't be one person of land, one by sea. He has to be connected. He has to have growth, and I really did see the growth of his character. If you want a perfect Aquaman movie, this is probably it. Scratching the stuff right now of Amber Heard, and people don't like the changing of pace of how Aquaman looks. To me, Jason Momoa's Aquaman is great. I enjoyed this film. B+, A-. Really enjoyed Aquaman. Number 2 is Man of Steel. Man of Steel ages like fine wine. It just gets better with time. I mean, Man of Steel was just great. I enjoyed the relationship between Clark Kent and with his father, Jonathan Kent. It really takes a realistic tone of what we would deal with if actual aliens came to Earth. What would happen? What would our reactions be if we had aliens that come to Earth, and how would Superman react to it? And I know a lot of people are saying, well, all this destruction that what Superman did and all this stuff, he doesn't have full control of his powers. He's just been Superman for 2 days at most. And people expect him to fight on Kryptonians like anybody else, and then to be the ultimate savior of the galaxy. He's not. He's gonna get his butt whooped. And the destruction of the Kryptonians. What do you expect? They are just like Superman. They will destroy the world. They will destroy mostly everything around them. I like the mythology of Krypton. I love freaking Zod and his motivations. He's not necessarily like a villain like Neo before Zod. He's not that type of Zod. He's more like a type of guy who will do anything to for the survival of his race. And I really could enjoy and respect Zod's character for that, even though it could be evil and cruel. As he says in the movie, everything I do is for the greater good of my people. I love Fiora. I love the action scenes. I love the special effects. There's a lot of practical effects in this. They really had the military actually in this film, and I really, really enjoyed a great many things about Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is very underrated. I would give it an A-. This is not my favorite Superman film, and I think Henry Cavill had a little missteps at the beginning, but right now I think he's a great Superman, and this was a great start. Man of Steel, great movie, different tone, very realistic, done as a superhero film, but it's my second favorite. And my number one favorite is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was utterly fantastic. You could take anybody to this. It has a realistic approach to how war is. It really went to this whole realistic world of one woman. Think of her like as an alien from an alternate universe, from another world, and she comes here and she's learning this different stuff about like human beings and whether or not they're good or evil. She believes she could stop World War One. It's the end of freaking war if she kills Ares. And she falls in love with a man named Steve Trevor. She gets to know about humans and their conflict and all this stuff, and how people could be manipulative, how certain people could be cowards, how generals will let their soldiers die in a war. This movie doesn't shy away from war. Movie doesn't shy away from grief, from loss, or about doesn't shy away about what love is and what eventually is goes and what happens during war. This movie's great for all people. You don't need to be a superhero fan. You don't need to be an action hero fan. You just have to watch good storytelling, and this had great storytelling. I love Wonder Woman, the movie. My father is in his early 80s and all stuff, and he's seen this film and he think it was great. I think this is one of the best superhero films of all time, and I think this is one of the greatest movies of all time. This thing has inspiration for women, for young men, for people. Just basically trying to figure out what life is, and I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. I really enjoyed Diana. I really love her how she's so naive of the world, and how she's growing up, and slowly starts to turn on her. Well, she doesn't turn to a different person, but she still has faith, she still has hope, and the love that she had for Steve Trevor really combats her thoughts about Ares and whether or not she should destroy the world. And I know a lot of people don't like the third act, but to me, I enjoy the shit out of the third act. So to me, Wonder Woman, the movie, my favorite of DCEU films. But what y'all think, everyone? What's your favorite DCEU film? It's Wonder Woman, Man of Steel. What's your least favorite? You think I should have Joker on this list? Let me know what y'all think, everyone. My name's Elise. For everybody. Bye.